Hello, hello, hello. I think we're live. Good morning, everybody. Happy day 3 of the Uncomplicated Sales Challenge. I'm just going to go over here and make sure we are live. Yep, I can see myself. And hello, hello. I hear sound, so we are good. All systems are up and running. So welcome to day 3 of the Uncomplicated Sales Challenge. Today is our very last day of the challenge. So hopefully you've gotten some valuable content, some really in-depth knowledge of the shadows that are in play when it comes to sales in your business. We are masters at overcomplicating sales. And the reason we do that is to avoid doing the hard work, to avoid seeing our shadows. Oh, there's some really loud garbage trucks outside. My apologies for that. And just to avoid the actual process of asking for a sale, because it brings up all of our stuff. So it's a very easy one to avoid, to not want to get our hands dirty, to not want to see what our shadows are and our lack of belief and all that stuff. So sales is the place where we really get to tune into our limiting beliefs, our own excuses and stories and things that we hold on to. All of it shows up for us around sales. So this is all about uncomplicating your sales. So you're in the right place. Now I'm going to share my screen with you because I know you don't want to stare at me the whole time. So share screen. And I'll find the right one. All right, hopefully you guys can see that. Just to make sure you're in the right place, this is day 3, final day of the Uncomplicated Sales Challenge, where we're really focusing on the art of creating space for sales. Energetic space, mental space, physical space, all of that stuff. We need space for sales to happen. Just going to wait. There we go. Okay, I can see the slides are loaded. Perfect. Okay. So feel free to ask questions, whether you are here with me live. If you are here with me live, drop me a hello and let me know you're here. If you can subscribe, like the video, all that stuff, that's super helpful. If you're on the replay, please put hashtag replay in the comments so that I know you caught this and I can keep an eye on your questions as you go along. So the first slide I always start off with, you're familiar with this if you've been to day 1 and day 2, is remember why you're here. So just take a minute to tune into the reason why you've invested your time in joining this challenge, why, even if you haven't been to day 1 and day 2, there was something about this one that called you to pay attention. So just drop into that, get in touch with why. Why are you here? What is not working? What is working? Where can you expose more shadow? Where can you find more power within yourself? You want to access that as we go through this presentation today. It's going to help you to really let the information sink in at a deeper level. All righty. So just a quick recap, day 1 and day 2. We talked about your commitment to being present and how that really is like the basis of everything. And we want to be present in the space of observation, not judgment. We talked about the importance of clearing and decluttering your goal, a path to sales, and your own energy. So clearing up the debris. The debris is any data, any content, any story, any beliefs, anything that we add into anything. So a sale is just a sale. Sales is a conversation. That's it. We add all the complications. We add in all the debris. So decluttering, clarifying, getting rid of all that stuff is essential. And then yesterday we talked about choosing to have your energy active, activated energy within yourself, no matter what you're doing, choosing to be in your power, not in your shadow, regardless of if you're in a sales conversation or you're out for a walk or you're working on a marketing post or you're cooking dinner, whatever. It's about choosing to have your energy in your power archetypes. And anytime you're in shadow, doing the work to flip that so that you're coming at it from power. All right. Be present, clear the debris, be in your power, active energy. All right. So with all of that in mind, I have a little message here saying the bit rate is lower than usual. We are having a lot of rain today, so I do think the weather is going to have a little impact. If we get stuck, please let me know. I will keep an eye on the stream over here too, just to make sure. Looks like everything's still running smoothly. Okay, so welcome to day 3. Day 3 is all about stick the landing. So if you know about gymnastics, stick the landing is when you execute your routine and you land with perfection, right? You got the judges are holding up the 10. So when it comes to sales, clearly this is about closing the sale. So we're going to look at sales specifically, and we're going to focus on sales calls. That's going to be the primary focus, but everything I share in here relates to your sales path, regardless of how that looks. So on the first day, you outlined a clear pathway for your sales, a clear path to move someone from connecting to getting to know them, to making an offer, to them buying. So there are lots of different paths to this. It could be DM outreach. Perhaps you email to your subscriber list. It can be things like commenting in groups and getting to know people in there. It can be things like connecting with your own audience, maybe on your friends on your profile page, or your group members if you have a group. All of that stuff is your way of starting the conversation to sales. From there, there's some kind of an offer. You need to send them something. So you invite them either to, if they'd like to have the landing page for your program, or perhaps you send them a direct link to a payment form, a Stripe form, something like that. Perhaps you send an invoice, a direct invoice to them. Maybe you take their credit card on the phone. There's lots of different ways. Oh, are we still live? Yep. Oh, sorry. Okay, we're good. So there's lots of different ways that can happen. And then the other piece of that, in addition to just sending them a link and saying, here's how you can buy, is to jump on a sales call with them. You invite them to a conversation. And this is specifically powerful for high ticket items, high ticket sales. So, if you have a digital program or a low ticket program, you might just send them a link in the messenger. Say, hey, if you're interested, here's how you can enroll. If it's a higher ticket, you probably want to have a sales call. A sales call is an extremely powerful tool where both you and the prospective client get to experience each other. You get to explore whether you're going to be a good fit to work together. So it's kind of you're both the interviewer and an interviewee. You both are playing both roles. And in a sales call, you're giving your time and you're giving your energy so that you can check out that person and you can present your offer from a place that is you standing and sitting in your power, and also to empower them to make a powerful decision. I want you to keep that in mind as we go through the rest of the presentation, right? So we're going to focus on the sales call, and we can experience and expose a lot of our own shadows when it comes to sales calls, both inviting people to sales calls, booking, not so much, the booking part's easy, and then getting on the sales call, being on the sales call. Lots of shadow will come up for you. That's okay. We welcome it. We want it. Every time that happens, you have an opportunity to shift and unlock your own power. You have an opportunity to see where you are coded with shadow, where you are limiting yourself. And you have an opportunity to simply notice that and make a powerful sales call anyway. Okay. So keep in mind that sales is nothing more than a conversation. That's it. It's you sharing a truth and the other person making a decision. That's a sales call. We add all kinds of other content, debris, beliefs, limitations around what that means. Well, people don't like sales calls. They don't like me to be convinced. I don't like what people sell to me, so they're not going to like it when I try to sell to them. We have all kinds of content that we add to the very simple truth that a sales call is nothing more than a conversation. And, it can be really fun to reach out to someone and say, hey, do you want to jump on a call? It can be really fun to get on the call and get to know someone and have them get to know you. But we add in all this other stuff. So go back to day one, clear the debris that you have around this, and put out a very genuine, very authentic ask. Hey, do you want to work with me? Do you want to jump on a call? Should we have a sales call? Here's how you can book in. Keep it simple, make it fun, go at it with that observation and that curiosity and that sense of wonder, rather than that, oh my God, I really hope they'll buy from me. And what if they don't like me asking them? I don't want to feel intrusive. Whatever other content you add to the very simple, intuitive hit, invite this person to a sales call. So let me know how that lands for you. Okay. So there are 3 aspects we're going to cover today. We're going to start with number 1, and that is presence, not scripts. People buy because of your presence, your energy, and your confidence. People are drawn to you, whether you have a service for sale or products for sale, a one-to-one container, whatever it is you offer, they are drawn to you. Sales is about you. If you think about, the old way of thinking about the used car salesman. They can sell a lemon because they are personable, because they have this energy about them, because they expect to make sales, because they expect people to want to buy from them. That's an energy that they have. It's a confidence that they have. It's a presence that they have. And it's true for you here. People feel your energy. They feel your presence, and they experience and feel with their body your confidence. And this is far more powerful than getting the words right, getting the script right, presenting your offer in the exact right way. And when you nail these three things, presence, energy, and confidence, when you nail them authentically, so not that fake it till you make it, none of that facade kind of stuff. Being in your confidence means you're really plugged into that current. It's not about, well, I'm going to sit here and look really confident and I'm going to make it happen. It's about owning it. Own the truth of the work you do. Own your ability to make sales. Own your ability to be in command of selling. Plug into that reality. Take responsibility for these things. Take responsibility for your magnetism. Your magnetism comes from your presence, your confidence, your precision. Your precision means being so present that you allow the words to flow. We're going to get into that in a minute. That's your magnetism. And that is what draws people in. It is not the words that you say. Yes, your marketing needs to be precise, of course, and your offer needs to be very, very clear, and you do the work around crafting those things. But when it comes to sales calls, it's your magnetism that sells. It is your energy, your confidence, and your presence. And the sales call is the final piece in a decision that's already mostly been made by the other person. The other person, when they agree to a sales call, they already know that you have something they want. They already know that you offer something that they know can help them. They already know that. They haven't fully stepped into the decision to buy, and that's what the conversation is about. People see you living the transformation that they want, and they feel your engagement with and your mastery of the work that you do, the tools that you have, the products you sell and use, all that stuff. They see that in you. So when they come to the sales call, it's really about you helping to empower them to make a decision. They can sense the transformation that they are ready for in you. And this is done on an energetic level. It is not done by the words that you share, by how masterfully you handle objections, by you convincing them, right? This is what really helps them to make that empowered decision to buy. It is not the words, it is not the scripts that you've prepared, it's not the written out and pre-planned execution of a conversation. It is about you taking ownership of your energy, ownership of your presence, ownership of your confidence, ownership of your ability to make a sale, about you being grounded in the truth of what you offer and having a conversation about the truth of what you offer. That's it. And people feel that. So I always think of sales as a movement of energy between two people. And for me, I translate that to a dance, right? And if you think about a dance, you're the leader. When you get on a sales call, you are the leader, not the prospect, not the buyer, not the potential client. You extend your hand, invite them to the dance floor. They take your hand. They say, yes, I'll get on a call. Now you both step out onto the dance floor. And dance happens in the moment. It is fluid. It is about being present with the other person and allowing the dance to unfold. Even if you've learned all the technical steps and you've practiced it, when you're on the dance floor, you submit to the moment. And that is what a sales call is. Okay. You animate and activate your power, your confidence, your energy, your presence. You stand solid in that. And then you allow the conversation to unfold. So this means that you get very, very present with yourself, very, very present with the other person, and you are willing to say whatever needs to be said. And we're going to get into that in a little bit of detail later. But it also means that there are times where you're silent. Silence can be the most powerful tool in a sales call. So when you are on a sales call and you feel that urge to fill in the space, make sure it's not quiet, check yourself, like check in, why are you doing that? Because often, most cases, that comes from your shadow. Sometimes when you are silent, what you're doing is you're holding open a space, a portal for them to walk through. You hold that portal open. And by your presence and your energy and your confidence, you invite them to step through that portal. You don't pull them through with your words. You don't try to convince them to come. You simply hold that transformation in front of them and they choose to walk through. Let them feel their own shadow, expose their own shadow, get in touch with their deeper objections. And sometimes we even let them come to their conclusion at their own time. Silence can be very, very powerful. It is you being the leader rather than just filling in space with noise. And a really powerful time when you want to practice this is when you present your fees, your pricing, the cost of your program, whatever your money thing is. Notice how much you want to add into that after you deliver. It's $10,000 for 1 month program, whatever your thing is, $10,000 for a 2-month program. Notice how much you want to add to that. That is shadow that wants to step in. When you present the price, you want that person to feel it and let it settle in them so that they can have their own objections and their own experience and their own shadows show up around why or why not they want to say yes. How I want you to think about, how do you feel when you engage in a sales call? Imagine if this afternoon, you've got a sales call booked this afternoon, it's a high ticket offer. It's a $25K offer. You've never done this before. I want you to think about how you would feel going into that with no script. You know what you offer, you know your work, you know it. How would you feel about going into that with no script and presenting the $25,000 for a 3-month program? What other content do you want to add to that? What else do you want to put in there in order to soften the blow, in order to make them feel it's doable, in order to massage their shadow? That is your shadow interacting with their shadow. There is no power in that. Okay? So presence. Be present in all of your interactions around sale. Whether it's on Messenger, whether you're on a sales call, whether you're booking something, whether you're sending a payment link, be present. Be present, be present, be present. Own your power to make money. Own your ability to make sales. Own your ability to close sales. How much do you feel like no one's going to buy from me? Get in touch with that. Clear the debris. It's important. Okay. Whew. I don't see any comments. I'm not sure if anyone is on the live or not. Number 2, sell. Don't coach. When you are on a sales call, you are there to sell. You are there with your salesperson hat on. You are not there as the coach. You are not there to give free coaching. And in fact, giving free coaching can and often does kill the sale. And this is a very difficult transition for us to make if you're a coach or a mentor or someone who serves in that way. You have something incredible to offer them, but you need them to make the decision to buy it from you. You need to empower them to make their own decision. You're going to be tempted to coach, to give it away for free because of your shadow. You want to give them value. You want to coach them through their fears and coach them through their objections because you want to demonstrate your work. You want to demonstrate your value. You want them to see how good you are. You want them to see how you can help them. That comes from shadow. You think that you can't not do that. You can't afford to not add in extra value and give them some free coaching because then they might not buy from you. Then you might not make the sale. That comes from shadow. Power knows you can make the sale, knows you have what can help them, knows that they can buy from you. You feel like you need to give more in order to work through their objections. You want to give them more information and more options and payment plans. And, well, maybe I'll do it this way. Every time you do that, you're feeding their shadow and you're feeding your own. You're coming from a place of neediness. I need the sale, therefore I will drop my standards. I'll reconfigure things. That's the prostitute energy. The lover knows the value of what she offers. The sovereign decrees that you can make sales. The warrior takes the action, gets on the call with the person, and then the magician steps in and brings in the magic, right? Sell, don't coach. When you're coaching, you are not in your power. And I myself have struggled with this for so long because you don't want to be a salesperson. You're a coach. You want to help people. I get that. But you need to master and learn the art of sales, number one, because it will bring up all your shadow. Yes, you can outsource yours. If you really hate sales, you can pay for someone to do it for you. You can outsource that. But you're going to miss an opportunity to bring up shadow that you need to clear out of your way so you are fully in your power. Okay? So sell, don't coach. You want to lead the prospective client to the thing that you're selling, and then you want to lead them to make a clear and powerful decision. And that does not happen through coaching. That happens through you holding open that portal for them to say yes to. If you coach them, it's like you're pulling them in. Come on, this is what I can do for you. And the other piece of that is sometimes we coach so well, and I've been there on a sales call where they actually get enough of a relief of their problem that they think they can go away and do it on their own now. They don't need to buy from you. Most cases, that's not true. Most cases, it'll work for a day or however long, and then they're back in their shadow, right? We know that. So in fact, you're doing them a disservice if you coach on the sales call. Lead them to make a clear and powerful decision to say yes or no. Any need you bring to it to over-deliver is your shadow, and you do not want to engage your shadow. You want to alchemize your shadow. And own your power to make sales, right? A sales call is simply an invitation to work with you. That's it. And if they want what you offer, you don't want to give it away for free. You want to take the payment, then you serve them. They make a decision, they make a commitment, they give you the money. Now you can serve them as powerfully as you like. But you want them to make that decision to buy from you first. And then you give them what they want. Otherwise, you're feeding their shadow, you're feeding your shadow, and ultimately that is not what they want from you. You don't want them to base their decision to work with you to be because you gave it away first, because you fed their shadow, because you bought into their sob story, right? We get overly concerned that if we don't give enough value, they're not going to buy. That's shadow. It's 100% shadow. A sales call should always lead them to buy the thing that you want, to make a decision. And the opportunity to work with you is there if they make that decision. And the other piece around this is that you are in business, and business is about sales. It's time to step up and own that piece and look at all the shadow you have around sales, asking for money, not giving free something for free. Look at all your shadow and clean that up, because you need to be in sales if you're in business. If your business doesn't make sales, you don't have a business. And then the last thing I want to say about this is that if you give them too much information, you coach them and you do a data dump, okay, this is what we're going to do this, and you give them too much detail, you actually overwhelm them to the point where they can't make a clear decision. You want to be succinct, precise, empower, present the offer, have the conversation so that they can make a very clear decision that is not based on shadow. And if you give them too much information and they do get muddled up, they're going to want more time to think about it. They're going to say, okay, this is great, but I just need to go away and think about that. You don't want to bring that up in them. You're going to be tempted to give it to them, say, yeah, okay, go take a few days and reach out to me. But you're feeding their shadow in most cases in those scenarios. You are not on a sales conversation to prove your value, to prove your worth, for their validation in any way. You are there simply to make a sale. I have this thing. Do you want to buy it? Once they make that clear decision, then they get to access the magic that you deliver. Okay. Right. They don't need you to feed their shadow. They don't want you to feed their shadow. They actually want you and need you to expose their shadow, whether they know it or not. All right. And so this leads into our third point for today. Shatter. Do not resonate. Do not buy into their objections. Do not feed their shadow. Do not buy their story. Instead, hold the space. Hold that portal open. Hold the transformation open. The thing that they seek, hold it for them. Energetically hold it as an invitation for them to step through to. Your job is to help reveal their shadow, their blocks, the thing that is in their way of getting that thing they want, getting to that place they want, going from where they are now to that beautiful, pleasurable island that they want to get to. Your job is to reveal their shadows and shatter it, not to resonate with it, not to feed it, not to empower it in any way, rather to help them see. And it's very different than coaching. They don't want, the prospective buyer doesn't want your empathy or your sympathy. They want to know that you can help them with the exact problem that they have. That's what they want to know. So you want to step up and say what you're thinking. So here's another big piece that I really want you to get. You want to be aware of all the conversations that are happening on a sales call. Because there's usually three. There's the conversation that's happening on the surface, the words being exchanged. There's your thought process and conversation happening in you. And then there's their thought process and the conversation happening within them. Right? There's three conversations going on often. So your job is to bring all three of those conversations into one. That is your job. And as you do that, you're going to be speaking and calling out things that will maybe make your shadow or you feel uncomfortable. Your job is to be present with the person and speak your mind. You do not want to have a quiet conversation going on in your mind, in your own head, and you not speaking it. You want to say what you're thinking. You want to be in flow with the conversation. You want to be that open vessel and allow whatever you're thinking to come through. If they are sitting in shadow, call it out. If they're being ridiculous with their objections, call it out. Say what you are thinking. That will be the trigger to help expose their shadow and shatter it. And it's not about you resonating and saying, yes, oh, I guess I get you. I've been there. It's about you being so firmly rooted in your power and so present that whatever words want to come out are enough to shift them. That's not coaching. That's shifting them. That is shattering their limitations, their beliefs, their blocks, and they're going to want more of it. Call them out. Say what is going on in your own mind. Do not have separate conversations happening within you, different than the words coming out of your mouth. Be present, be open, be honest, and say what you're feeling, say what you're thinking, say it out loud, have a conversation. And it can feel scary. If you don't want to say it, it's usually, you're usually in your prostitute energy then, right? You're afraid of what they might think, how they're going to react, what they might say. Maybe they'll hang up. When in fact, the thing that you're thinking might be the very one thing they need to shatter their block, to shatter that illusion right on the spot. And boom, your sale is made right then and there because they experienced your power. You don't want to dilute the conversation because of your own shadow. You don't want to dilute the conversation because you're afraid of what they might think or feel. You want to be in your power always. And the more you do that, the more you invite them to be in their power. So you can't script this type of conversation, right? You can't try to control it. If you're trying to control it, you're in shadow. You don't want to say what you think they want to hear, what you think will close the sale, what you think will convince them to buy. There is no power in that. Your presence isn't active in it. You want to be in your presence and in your power and then let the conversation happen. So you set high standards around your sales, right? You set very high standards. You're not giving away coaching for free. This is the program I offer. This is my pricing. You are not on the call to soothe their shadow, to feed their shadow. You're there to bust it. You set high standards and you don't waver from it. And if they ask you to waver, hold your boundaries because they're testing you. They want to see that you can help them with their boundaries, that you can help them to not waver. Demonstrate it, be it, own it. That's going to be far more powerful than saying, yes, of course I can help you to hold your boundaries firm. Can you see the difference in that? This is how you lead them to make their own powerful decision about whether to work with you or not. You're not convincing them. You're not using words to try to sway them. You are sitting firm in truth and inviting them to join you there. That is far more powerful. You are shifting them from their shadow and into that portal, a larger truth, into the transformation they seek before you even make the sale. Now, the decision to work with you is obvious. Now it's a powerful purchase. Now they can make that clear decision like, yes, this is the person I want to work with. How can I work with you? Where do I pay? When can we start? Can you see the difference? So stick the landing. Be very, very clear about what you offer. Know what you offer. Live it, breathe it, demonstrate it in everything that you do. Clarity is power. Being clear is powerful. Be energetically clear. Be present. Be with the person. Allow yourself to speak. You can do things like pre-qualifying, especially if it's a high-ticket program. And a pre-qualification can look like some kind of an online form where you gather some data about them before you even book the sales call. So that's a really clear way to do it. It allows you to get clear on like, what are they actually looking for? What's their budget? So that you can craft an offer that really fits them. And often the crafting of the offer happens in the sales call. You can have some ideas ahead of time, but again, it's not about pre-scripting. It's about understanding what they're looking for, knowing you can deliver it, and coming up with the most perfect solution for them. That can be the length of your program. That can be the cost of it, all of that stuff. So pre-qualification allows you to gather some data ahead of time. It can be a good way to ensure you're connecting with the right people and not wasting your time and not wasting their time. Now you can approach them with clarity, right? Be clear about what you offer, know that you can help them, own your power to make sales. Anywhere where you waver around that, you need to do your work. You need to do your alchemy to shift into your power, into your ability to command sales, to command money, to create clients, to create sales, to create. And then be very present and very clear on your sales call. Help them to shatter their belief, to shatter their objection, to shatter their blocks. Use silence as a tool. It's extremely powerful. Now, of course, you don't want to be on a sales call and not say anything at all. Know when to introduce that moment. Know when it's all about holding open the invitation and letting them come to their own conclusion, their own decision. That's very different than trying to convince, trying to sway them, trying to manipulate them into a sale. That never feels good for either party. Okay. So it is the last day. That's all I've got for you today, a little bit shorter today. I do have one last assignment for you. It will be posted in the Facebook group, as will this replay. And I will send it to you by email as well. Your assignment for today is to look back on previous sales calls where you have given some free coaching, where you have coached someone. And I want you to get in touch with why you did it and what the outcome was, because it's going to reveal a lot of shadow to you. And if you've got that shadow in the past, you've got it in the moment. Unless you've done the work to clear it, it will still be present with you and it's going to come into your future sales calls. So I want you to get into that. Okay, so look for that in the group and in your email. So, uncomplicated sales. Let's just quick summary: declutter, activate, and sell. Those are the three things. Clean up, unhook yourself from your debris, your story, your content around your sales goal, your money goals, around your sales path, and around you, right? Be in your power. Activate, you want to have active energy. You want to bust shadow any moment it shows up so that your energy is always active, so that you're always in that place where sales can happen. Clients can come and find you. Activate your offers, activate your marketing, activate your sales calls, and activate your clients. We talked about that yesterday. You can go back and catch a replay on day 2 if you need help with that. And sell. You have to do whatever is required to make sales, no matter what your excuses, objections, shadows, fears, beliefs, all that stuff is. If you want to be in business, you have to sell. You want to be in command of your presence, your energy, and your sales calls. Okay, so that brings it to a wrap. Listen, guys, join me in from offers to sales. Tomorrow, the pre-assignments start going out. That will go on for a week. We do our first call on March 31st. That is next Thursday. So it's a 6 weeks of calls, but actually a 7-week program. And this is going to call out all your shadows in your marketing, your launches, your offers, your sales, all of that stuff. We're doing it hands-on. You're going to get called out and you're going to move into a place of clarity and power in all of these aspects of your business. You're going to bring it to life during the program, all the way through to a launch and sales calls, all of that stuff. So join me in that. There are still some seats in that. I've got the link down here. I'll also put it in the email to you. Get registered today so that you can get the pre-assignments that start coming out tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's also going to be, you're going to be vulnerable. But we want this. You want this, because if things aren't going the way you want, if you're not making enough money, you're not making enough sales, you're not building an audience, if it's just not working, then you have to do something different. And I promise you, the thing that's in your way is shadow. When you alchemize shadow, things happen. When you unlock power and magnetism, now the molecules all around the universal energy field around you start to shift and start to align with your clear goal, with your decree, with your vision. That's the work we're going to be doing in this program. So come and join me in that. And thank you for joining me in this 3-day challenge. I hope you've gotten some great value. I'd love to hear your feedback or comments. You all know where to reach me if there's any questions. And go ahead today and get registered in From Offers to Sales. I'm offering it at 1,100 Canadian right now. It will not be that price next time I offer this one. So I'll see you in there, and I will see you in the Facebook group. I will send out the email in about an hour with all of these links, and everything will be in the guide section in our group. All right. Have a beautiful day, everyone.